my biggest thing that I want to kind of put out there is why is it the refusal to baptize, rebaptize? If a Catholic wants to be, hey, choose to be baptized, say, hey, you know what? I just want to make sure I'm an adult now. I want to choose to be baptized as an adult. Why does the Catholic Church refuse to do it? Saying, no, you can't. That's a heresy. You can't be rebaptized. You were already baptized. It's good enough. Now go confess to a priest because you're not going to be rebaptized. That is against doctrine, and we're not going to do it. Why? Why is it hurting them? Because it says that the original baptism wasn't good? Maybe. Or, you know what? Maybe you can be baptized more than one time. Hey, you're baptized as a baby. Obviously, you grew up and you did a lot of things and you fell away from the church. You could be rebaptized again. There's nothing in the Bible that says you can only be baptized once. Because baptism, it does something. It takes away the negativity, the negative energy. Call it sin, whatever you want. That, you know what? Sin is just a word that's made everything scary. Sin is just not following something. Sin is going in the wrong direction. Repentance is not a feeling. Repentance is changing your ways. It's not, I feel so sorry about some particular thing and I sinned and I'm repenting. You know, repenting is changing your direction of your life. That's what it is. It's an act. It's an act of changing. You know, and sin is missing the mark. That's the actual definition. When you sin, you miss the mark. So you're missing the mark in life, and you need to change your direction. It's not that scary. It's not a scary thing. And Jesus was that direction. You know, he came down here to say, hey, live your life like this. And you know what? And he didn't live in churches. He didn't go and establish churches. He said, you know, just like it says on our channel, Jesus is a lifestyle. They lived in commune. You know, they shared all their stuff. Their daily lives were together, and they lived them in a certain way that Jesus showed them. That's how they lived. It wasn't, hey, go to church on Sunday, go to Mass, confess to the priest. It's a lifestyle. Jesus came here and presented a lifestyle, a way to live, to go to heaven, saying, hey, if you want to go to heaven, this is what you need to do. This is how we want you if you're going to be in heaven. I mean, it's a community. Heaven, whether you want to, you say, oh, this is heaven. No, heaven is a community of people, a community of spirits, a community of angels, a community of whatever is in heaven. You know what? And they all have personalities and they all have traits. You know what? And they want, if you're going to be there with them, then you need to live and be a certain way. You know, like, hey, we up in heaven, we work together. We try to solve things. Obviously, there's anger because it says in the Bible, God got angry. God got angry, Jesus got angry, so people can get angry. So there's emotions even in heaven. So this idea that heaven's all perfect and there's nothing going on there except for like singing praises, that's ridiculous. I wouldn't even want to be in a heaven like that. That'd be like, it's not like that. Clearly, God gets angry. Clearly, Jesus got angry, throwing stuff over in the temple. Clearly, heaven is nothing like we've been told from these mainstream religions, and we need to wake up and see that, hey, you know what? We can't trust anything that they say. What you can trust is you need to be kind to people. You need to help people. You need to look at things, and inside, it's going to tell you. Your own self is going to say, hey, you know what? That feels right. That feels like that's the truth. You know what? And if you go by that, if you go by, hey, you know what? This feels right. This is the information, but that feels wrong. God's not going to hold that against you. And I don't care what any priest or any bishop or any pastor says. You know why? Because most all of them have never even lived their life. They graduated high school, they went to seminary, now all of a sudden they're a priest preaching about things they don't even know about, and just doing that right out of a book that somebody else supposedly experienced and wrote, and they're regurgitating it as they actually know it, but they've never experienced it. But nowadays with YouTube and stuff like that, people like me and a lot of other people, you know, that's really lived life outside of the church looking in, seeing all the stuff that they're doing that's screwed up. And now we're able to come up and say, you know what, you're screwed up. You're like sitting over there collecting money from people from the church, living the high life, while people are starving in your life, especially the Catholic Church. That rich church is just raking in the money, living in just in luxury up at the top, while their congregation is poor and starving around the world. They don't care. They only care about themselves up there. You know what? They don't have to own it. If a priest, they get to enjoy it. If I had a Ferrari and I gave it to you and you get to drive it around, do whatever you want, didn't have to spend any money on it that was yours, does it really matter whether you own it or not? No, it doesn't matter if you own it or not, because you still enjoy having it. You get to enjoy the luxury that all of this money provides, even though you don't own it. Why other people, you shouldn't be wasting all that money on golden statues and all this crap. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If Jesus wanted that, he would have made that himself. And if you don't think he could have made it himself, well, then obviously he must not be, Jesus, God's son, because he can do anything he wants. He could do anything he wants then, and he can do anything he wants now. So, he chose not to do that. He chose to come down in the organized religious structure that was there at the time. He said, hey, this is screwed up. Don't follow this. Follow what I'm showing you. And they killed him for it. And then they've hijacked this message again, back a couple hundred years after he died, and they twisted it into what it is today, back to exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. But you got these off-branch churches that, they're coming about and really having a good message, and people look, happy in there, and you can tell you go into the church and people look happy and they look productive. And you go into these other churches, the Baptist churches and the Catholic churches, and the people look like shit. They look like their eyes are black and they're just depressed and they don't look happy, and they're just doing something because they have to do it because the church told them they're born sinners and they're on straight to hell basically when they're born, and only by the grace of Jesus can they possibly end up in heaven. And I don't believe that either. I believe that if you don't know Jesus and you're a good person and you're trying, that you're going to go to heaven too. That you're going to be a part of that community, however that community is, and it's vast. Believe me, if demons can show up in other realms right around me, put in a webs, and the devil can show up in armor and try to kill me in the middle of the night, everything we've been told about God and heaven and demons and devils by the church is false and incorrect and misleading, to keep us down, to keep their thumb on us, keep the thumb on us so they can control us and take our money and do whatever we want, and then keep telling us how worthless we are and how, we need to always be trying to be better because we never add up. Matter of fact, not only do we never add up, we've never added up, that we were born screwed up, and that's ridiculous. That's just a way to keep people down. That's just a way to keep people down and keep those men in power, and they need to be shut out of power. We need to clean the slate of this hierarchy of religion out there in the world. Clean and wipe the slate clean, and then come in with real honest communities of just good people working together. That's what we need to do.